All right, so going to be doing another comic review from a book sent to me by my friend Chris. Thank you as always, brother. Today we're going to be talking about Power Man Timeless, which, if I am to be honest, every time I hear I look at the title, all I can think is that song by The Weeknd. So that was kind of going through my head every time I read this book. So what is Power Man Timeless? Well, Power Man Timeless is it was basically a one shot where Marvel does these every so often to like hype up the next era of what they're doing. They've done it with like Incoming or some other one shot to like build up. It was like, oh, look at all these cool things coming soon to the Marvel universe that will probably disappoint you 9 times out of 10. Yeah, that was kind of what the one shot is, and then for some reason it got a 4-issue miniseries. So um, let's kind of talk about this book because honestly, the one shot and then the miniseries kind of feel a little disconnected. And I'll probably talk about that either way. Anyway, so Power Man Timeless is written by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lanning, and basically the story in the first issue, the one shot, is basically Luke Cage confronting an unstoppable force in the Marvel far future. Take your pick. There's always a dark future. And he's been given the power of Iron Fist, the Sentry, and the Hulk. He's now become an incredibly powerful hero, and he is to stop Khonshu. And Khonshu's new Moon Knight, Danny Rand, the former Iron Fist. They don't really go. The thing is like, why did Power Man of all characters? And I'm not saying Luke shouldn't get the power. I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form Luke shouldn't have gotten those powers. But at the same time, I'm also like thinking to myself, how and why him? Because they never go in like Lansing, and they just think, oh, wouldn't it be cool if Power Man, he's already pretty strong, but what if he got like, the Iron Fist and the Sentry's power. Oh, and he's also got the Hulk's power too. It sounds more like you wanted to make an OC, but thank you for using an established character instead of some random character you pulled out of your butt. So I appreciate that. Also, you gave all this to Luke. So Old Man Luke and Khonshu do battle, and as they are, time is like splitting apart and things like that. But it really doesn't matter because, again, this is what Timeless was basically a one shot where it's just like, ooh, look at all the stuff coming, and that was it. The 4-issue miniseries feels even more disconnected because at the end it's kind of teased that this Luke Cage ended up in the main Marvel universe, and then you discover no, he didn't. He actually ended up in a different Marvel universe. And now he's just kind of traveling through space and encounters this thing called the Celestial Heart, being protected by a woman named Everclear. Yeah, basically based off of a alcohol. And he also encounters a very powerful inhuman called Aeon the Knife. And Aeon the Knife's whole thing is, I just want to be Marvel Battle Beast. That is really all Aeon is just, I just want to be that. He's not interesting as an antagonist or anything like that. And the whole story is told from the Void's point of view. Again, I would really like to know how Bob, Hulk, and Danny all transferred their powers to Luke, and also why the Void with them. Also, the other thing with the Void, hey, by the way, does anyone know what the Void is? People are saying, oh, it's like some writers claim it's like some kind of celestial force, or like, it's the rage of God, or in here it's just, no, you're not anything. Like Luke claims that the Void is just like, no, you're just not Danny, you were Bob's insecurity and all that, which should have been the case from the get-go, instead of whatever the hell Bendis was trying to do. But hey, who knows anymore? Like, come next, this is a different universe, so who the hell knows? Maybe the Sentry, the next time we talk about the Void, will basically retcon that ending as well. Anyway, so the comic itself isn't bad. It's just kind of like, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, so as I was saying, I really do feel like this comic um, is just like, it was just a fun idea that that Kelly and Lansing wanted to do together, and it is fun. It's just kind of like, hey, let's. They didn't really have an idea for the miniseries because the story feels very all over the place. Like we have Apocalypse in here for some reason. This version of Luke Cage becomes celestial, things like that. That's all it is. Is just, hey, Colin and, I guess like they had an idea after the one shot and wanted to do this, but didn't really have like much of a plan. And this comes from someone who does like Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing. I do think that like the story's fine. It's nothing groundbreaking, but really it's more like, okay, that's really how I feel about it. Is just it's pretty fun. I mean, yeah, the fights are pretty solid, especially between Aeon and Power Man and Luke. But like for the most part, it's just kind of like that was nice. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below if you've read Power Man Timeless. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of it. Chris, thank you again once again for the comic. And other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.